Alright, what is up, you guys? I am here with the Raging Climax, WrestleMania 15. The first ever WWF DVD, 1001. In 1999, so 20 years ago, this thing was released. Almost as old as me. So this was in the first Union Center in Philly. I would kill for another Philly WrestleMania. Let's try again, because this pay-per-view, it's not awful, but it's, as much as I defend WrestleMania 16, I don't defend this pay-per-view. We did have two dark matches, Jacqueline versus Ivory, and then the Tag Team Championship Battle Royal, won by D'Lo Brown and Test, when Draws and the Godfather eliminated each other. And then the opening contest, we had Hardcore Holly versus Al Snow and Billy Gunn, triple threat hardcore match for the hardcore title. This went 7 minutes. This was alright. It's nothing too special. I'm not really a big fan of anyone in there except for Al Snow. So for me personally, this just didn't garner any interest. But, it's entertaining in the hardcore aspect, but it's nothing more than that. Then we had Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart defeating D'Lo Brown and Test. So that defeats the Battle Royal right there. And this only went 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Once again, another really short match here. And it's these 3 or 4 minute WrestleMania matches that just frustrate me. I know you have to cut time and everything and make sure the pacing's alright, but you can't create a great match in 4 minutes. It's just hard to do that. I mean, you can, it's just not easy. And then we had Butterbean versus Bart Gun in the Brawl for All. This went 35 seconds. This is garbage, and I'm done talking about it. Mankind versus The Big Show, and the winner basically is the special guest referee for the main event. And, this ended in disqualification. This was a good little, more for the segments, a very good build-up and ongoing storyline, kind of like the hardcore title, WrestleMania 18. It's very entertaining. You have both these guys just, obviously it ends in disqualification. And, you just have this ongoing saga throughout the pay-per-view, so very cool and very well done. And then we have the Four Corners elimination match for the Intercontinental title. Road Dogg versus Goldust, with the Blue Meanie and Ryan Shamrock. And then we have Ken Shamrock and Val Venus as the opponents. Sometimes I forget Ryan Shamrock existed. And, this match, to me, was entertaining. I actually enjoyed this match. I'm a huge Goldust fan, so it's cool to see that kind of mid-incarnation of Goldust, because this was after, this is in 99, so, you're well into his career. You have the interesting character, so, I'm not the biggest Road Dogg or Val Venus fan, but they both, they held their own in this match, and it's a decent Fatal 4-Way match. Plus, I do love elimination-style matches. And then we had Kane versus Triple H. Okay. It is a huge pet peeve. Disqualifications on pay-per-views. I just don't like disqualifications, period. That's pretty much half of what Raw and SmackDown matches are nowadays. And that's kind of how it's always been, to be honest. But a disqualification at WrestleMania, to me, is just a slap in the face. This is before the network. This is when you were paying $30 or $40 to watch it. So I just don't like disqualifications. And this it did go 11.5 minutes. So that's the second longest match on this card. 11.5 minutes. And, it's not that this match was a disaster. I just felt like I wanted a good finish. And this was a decent rivalry going in. We had China at Kane's Corner, so that was cool. It's always good to see China. And then we had Sable versus Tori for the Women's Championship. This only went 5 minutes. And, you know, once again, 5 minutes doesn't really give you much time. This was basically just built to make Sable look strong and put her over. I am personally not a Sable fan, but I know Brock Lesnar is, though. And then we had Shane McMahon with Test versus X-Pac for the European Championship. This was just cool in the aspect of having Shane McMahon versus X-Pac. I'm a fan of both of them in the ring. So, you know, to have this, we had almost 10-minute runtime here. Or, no, excuse me, almost 9-minute runtime. And, yeah, this was entertaining. I actually did enjoy this match. But, you know, kind of a, I don't know, kind of thrown together in a way. But, you know, still enjoyed it for what it was. And, goddamn. Next up. I don't think I've ever talked about this match on this channel for a reason. Hell in a Cell. The Undertaker versus Big Boss Man. This was so bad that it even wasn't included in the Hell in a Cell Anthology DVD. When I got that, I was like, there's something missing here. Yeah. This is awful. To me, this is the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time. Nothing will ever top this. Even like Hell in a Cell 2010, 2011, 2012, I'd rather watch the Ryback Hell in a Cell matches than this again. That's saying something. That's a problem. I should never have to say that. And the fact that I did makes me want to vomit. And then, of course, you had the only cool spot, but at the same time, it was stupid. You know, you had Boss Man hanging from the noose. And then he's fine. So it just doesn't make sense. He's dead, but then he's fine. So, this match is frustrating. Next up, we had Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. No disqualification match for the WWF title with Mankind as your special guest referee. This only went 16 minutes and 53 seconds. And of course was the first of the WrestleMania trilogy. You know, this wasn't the first time they were in the ring together. They had Intercontinental title matches. But, you know, I feel like this is the weakest of the three. But that's not really saying much. It's still a good match. It's still a great main event. And it's just kind of epic to see these two in the ring together for the first time at WrestleMania itself. And in the main event, you know, they're both deserving, and they were two hot commodities at the time in the company. So, you know, for once, it's a main event that makes sense to have. And, you know, you obviously had Stone Cold going over, which I do think was the absolute right choice. He was on fire at the time. You know, I don't think there's ever been a more over wrestler than Stone Cold in 98 and 99. So, overall, as a letter grade, God, I'm going to give this show, I'm going to give this a D+. You know, I almost went with a C-, but I'm going with a D+. To me, there's only a few watchable matches on here. The rest is just forgettable, not awful. I mean, we have an awful fucking match on here, and we all know which one that is. So, yeah. D+, let me know your letter grade, and for now, this has been the DVD Freak. Peace out.